Alright. How's it going, guys? Hudson here, back with another video. Today we will be going over the Mage Soulbind Conduit system, right? I thought that this is something that needed to be explained. Not everybody has seen this, I guess. These are going to be super important, and I would like to go through all the current ones in their current state in beta. This is beta, so be aware that everything's subject to change. From this point on, I'm gonna try to do this uncut. If something happens in the background, I might have to cut it, but I just would like to go through because for future videos, I'm gonna kind of not reference these as much, and I'd like to have this just be knowledge that people have already, so I can reference this video if they need to have this information or need to learn this. But I guess we can start going through. So I'm on Wowhead, right? You can look this up. I'll probably link it in the description. But we're on the Soulbind Conduit stuff, and Soulbinds are these things right here that are like mini talent trees, right? You can have 3 Soulbinds, each covenant gets 3 Soulbinds, and you will pick a path for each of these dudes or gals that are you're soulbound with, right? And you can come back to your a base or whatever and switch between these people, but you can only change your conduits that are slotted into these slots right here. You can only change what's in each of these slots once a week, right? So you'll have your 3 talent builds, and you can respec essentially like it was back in Kata between 3 of these. But your talents are stuck for a week, or your conduits that are in there that look like talents are stuck for a week. And you have your spec specific conduits that you can put in here in each of these conduit slots, right? And then you also have these default ones that are more general that can be super impactful in a way. Some of them give you 5% burst for that will have super high uptime. But today I'm just going to go over the mage ones and kind of show you what they are and what I think about them, and maybe where they'll be used in predictions and that sort, right? And I guess one more thing about this system, you're going to have potency conduits, endurance conduits, and finesse conduits. Well, potency conduits are DPS, finesse are utility, and endurance are defensive, right? So there's those 3. And all of the specific spec ones are going to be potency, I believe. So before we go through any of the potency ones, actually, I want to go and point one out, and that is Grounding Surge. It's the last one on here, the last mage specific one. Grounding Surge, in my opinion, is the best conduit that is, what are these called? Finesse? The best utility conduit, right? The best finesse conduit, because it reduces the cooldown of counterspell. Maybe not in Raid, of course, this won't be that good. Maybe you'll pick the Blink one. But in Mythic Plus, this is going to be sick. If you can get this to rank, so these, you can also check these ranks out. I guess I can explain this for a second. These ranks are it'll be 1 through 15, right? These are 15 different ranks. And it says 10, but this actually means 1 right here, and then it goes the whole way up to 8. So successfully interrupting an enemy with counterspell reduces cooldown by 1 second. Well, once you get rank 15 of that conduit, it will go up to 8 seconds, right? And that's how all these work. You can see the ranks right here, and that 3,000 is, or 30,000 is actually just 30. But and I don't know how we're gonna get those ranks yet. Maybe someone's figured it out, but I personally am not knowledgeable. If you know currently, maybe this video is out of date, post it in the comments, please, so people can find it if they're watching this video and I'm a little bit out of date. But as of now, I do not know how we're going to get those ranks. But you can see that once you get that 15th rank, that's freaking insane. That's like a melee interrupt. That's gonna be wild for Mythic Plus if interrupts nearly as important as it was in BFA. But that's a finesse conduit, so you're going to be picking 3 potency conduits in most situations, right? So let's go over all of those. Arcane first. So the first one's Arcane Prodigy, potency conduit. Arcane missiles reduce the cooldown of arcane power by 0.1 second. All the way up from, damn, it doesn't show the actual, okay. I think it goes up to so that's not 1.5 seconds, that's like 1.9 seconds or something, right? Or maybe it's 1.5 seconds for this one. There's another CDR that's 1.9. But anyway, you can see the general effect of this. Arcane missiles, and I believe each single missile to hit reduces the cooldown. So, right, so what is that? 5 waves of missiles is what Arcane Missiles initially does, and then you can also buff it by the one talent that sends like I think 2 additional missiles or something like that. So you can get a lot of cooldown reduction out of this, and if you get this last one where each missile does 1.5 seconds, think about that. Think about if you did 2 sets of missiles, that's 10. That's 15 seconds off arcane power for 2 arcane missiles cast, right? That's pretty ridiculous. You can get arcane power, like massive uptime on that. They did just nerf overpowered talent, right, to be 50% instead of 60%. But I think this will still be quite powerful. It may support the like degenerate like arcane missile spam playstyle, but we'll see about that. We'll see about that. I hope it doesn't, because I don't enjoy that as much. This next one, Artifice of the Archmage. Your arcane barrage has 10% chance to grant 2 arcane charges. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. This is gonna be really good in AoE, right? So here, yeah. So like Arcane Barrage does a lot of damage in AoE, right? Up to 5 targets, and then if it grants you 2 arcane charges, that'll be sick. You'll just be like, you know, up to what? I'm trying to. I don't want to say it's 25%. Maybe it is. Maybe it's like 25% per charge or something, but I just feel like I read that somewhere. Anyway, still 25% isn't bad to refund 2 charges. It'll be every 4, right? That's not bad at all. I think this is really good for AoE, and this will be cool. I don't like the, so like, just going back to how conduits work, how every week you can only reset once per week. If I can only reset once per week, this is gonna suck pretty bad if I want to do, like, Mythic Plus is Arcane, but if I raid is Arcane and want single target for raid, but I want AoE for Mythic Plus, so it's gonna be a little bit weird there, but we'll see. So, next one's Magi's Brand. Touch of Magi accumulates an additional 5% of the damage you do. I think that's pretty cool. I kind of like this. It just buffs. It just buffs your Touch of Magi. Nothing too unique, it just buffs your Touch of Magi by, like, Magi absorbs like 25% of the damage you deal right now, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 25%, so you get an extra, that'd be an extra 20% damage increase to Touch of the Magi. So it just comes down to tuning whether you'll take it or not, but it's kind of boring, I guess. Nether Precision. Consuming clear casting increases the damage of your next 2 arcane blasts by 10%. Some play, like, I don't know. I don't know if I like this one, and I don't believe I took this one in the game whenever I was doing beta. So I don't think I like this one, actually. We'll see, though. This one's another one that comes down to tuning. It's just like a damage increase on your arcane blast whenever you get clear casting. I do like the stacks of clear casting now, and I think that that's good, and that will be good for this, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, now the fire ones. Fire generally benefits a lot from borrowed power, so we'll see how it does here. Hint, I don't think it's going to borrow that much power. This stuff like doesn't seem that powerful, right? Pyroblast damage increased by 5%. As you can see by the ranks, it starts at 5% and goes the whole way up to 20%. I don't think that that's that powerful. I think that's a pretty shitty one. It's fucking boring. It's boring, right? Like, oh my god, my Pyroblast is increased by 20% now. There's a frost one that increases your ice lance by 50% damage, right? Like, of course you can't do that with fire, I guess, because, dude, I don't know. Like, this just feels really lame. This feels really lame. Control destruction, I don't like it at all. But it feels lame and not much like playstyle to it, right? You just do you just buff Pyroblast. Okay, Flame Accretion now. This is like Blaster Master kind of, but not at all. Your fire, it's just Blaster Master, like it grants you mastery. There's another one that's kind of like Blaster Master, but that's, we'll see. I'll show you. Okay, so Flame Accretion grants a fireball grants 5% mastery when it fails to critically strike. So I tested this one out, and I thought that it might be 2 separate buffs, right? So you know how like fire has this built-in like bad luck protection. So whenever you fireball and it doesn't crit, it gives you more crit on the next fireball. And then so on and so on and so on. Well, I thought maybe there'd be 2 buffs, and you could manually delete the buff that gave you the bonus crit, and you could just keep the one that gave you the mastery. That's not how it works. This is actually added on to your like bad luck protection buff. So if you can get like I can get like 4 stacks of it, I think, generally before I crit, but like it's not reliable at all. It's super high variance. And I don't like it. Like, this might end up being really good, and you might have to just, like, do 2 fireballs and hope they don't crit before you do your combust or something. But like, I don't like this at all. But like, look at that, 5%, like 30% mastery for 2, 45% mastery for 3, and then 60% mastery if you can do 4. I don't like that at all, and that like makes you not want to do any crit at all if you're playing this. Like, I don't think that that's good. Ah, frick. Okay, Master Flame. Flame strike damage and radius is increased by 6%. This is so lame! This oh man. This is so lame. Sorry about that, didn't mean to cough into the mic. Oh man, like, come on! Like, is this the best? I don't know. Infernal Cascade. And also, this isn't gonna be good in single target ever. Infernal Cascade. While combustion is active, your fire blast grants you 3% increased fire damage for 5 seconds, second to 3 times. Good job, Blizzard. This is a good one. This is what Blaster Master is, except without the mastery, it's just damage increase. This is good. This is very good. One objection I have about this though is it's kind of awkward to play around, right? Because like right now, whenever you do combustion, you scorch, fire blast, and then combust. At least that's what I do, right? Because you get the cooldown on fire blast starting earlier, so you get more charges possibly. But with this, you have to wait until combustion activates, right? And then you have to fire blast. So it's a little bit awkward to get used to at first, but once you realize that, you'll get used to it. And it gives you a 30% damage increase during combustion at max ranks, so kind of like it. I think it's pretty cool, honestly. Now down to Frost. I think I might like Frost the most. We'll see. So the first one just buffs Blizzard, snare and damage. You might take this for Mythic Plus. I'd probably take this for Mythic Plus. I don't know. It depends on tuning. Between this one and this Frozen Orb one. This one just buffs Frozen Orb's damage, right? So like, you would just, like for Mythic Plus, you would just decide between these for damage, like between these tuning wise for damage, which one you would take. I butchered that sentence. That made no sense. But picking between these two for Mythic Plus, right, comes down to tuning, is what I'm saying. And then for single target, you would pretty much just take these 3, because this doesn't do anything. Same with, like, this Flame Strike one. And I'm hoping that they add more conduits each patch. I think that would be really cool, actually. And I think that's something that they plan to do, honestly. But aside from these two that just buff Blizzard and Frozen Orb, Icy Propulsion is the one that stands out the most to me, that I think is the most fun and has like some playstyle to it, right? What it does is while Icy Veins is active, your critical hits reduce its cooldown by 0.3 seconds. So, whenever you're getting all those Fingers of Frost and Brain Freeze procs during your Icy Veins, it's really nice. It's super nice, and it kind of pairs well with the guaranteed Fingers of Frost procs from Frozen Orb, right? That legendary is pretty nice with this, honestly. And it goes from, like, this isn't accurate. I think it goes up from 0.3 to around 2. I could be mistaken, though. But it's pretty cool, and it's just nice to have Icy Veins up more often, especially with like our low haste values right now. It's pretty nice to have that up a lot. Now, this last one just buffs Ice Lance, but it buffs it by a fuck ton, right? Which normally we don't see. We saw it in VFA with the Frozen Orb build, but that kind of got like shit on, and it was just because of your traits that you could buff Ice Lance a bunch for it to be good. But right now with this, even at 10%, like Ice Lance is most of your damage in like the basic Frost build. So this ends up being pretty well, pretty good ability in my opinion. Now, these conduits right here, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but each covenant has their own ability, right? Of course. And these are, each covenant has its own soul bind to do something with that ability, right? So I guess let's just go through these. Ire of the Ascended. Radiant Spark increases the damage your spells deal to the target by an additional 2%. I think it's cool. It's just a buff to Radiant Spark. It'll come down to tuning whether you want to play this or not. Now, Siphon Malice. This is the best conduit ever. It's a massive buff. Look. I went over this in my last video, actually, but I'll go over it again. Each time a Mirror of Torment is consumed, your spell damage is increased by 10% for 10 seconds, stacked 3 times. I'm not going to go too deep into this, right, but this is overpowered. It's really good if you can get those casts off and get this buff up to 30% at its current state, right, because it starts at 10, then goes the whole way up to 30, right? So you get 90% spell power buff at rank 15. Kinda wild. Like after seeing this one though, like this is like, here it might be pretty good too. Now, Gift of the Lich. Deathborn's duration is increased by 3 seconds, and it goes from 3 seconds the whole way up to 10 seconds. This is lackluster. I'm not the biggest fan. You get 30 seconds of Deathborn. Maybe, like, it'd be good around, I don't know. Like, yeah, you get your whole burn phase in Arcane done. But, like, Arcane doesn't have too much synergy with Arcane Blast right now, and it doesn't favor, like, super high burn phase, I don't believe. So, like, we'll see about this one. But I think just your general spec ones will be better than this. And then Discipline of the Grove. It just makes your shifting power channel faster, up to like 50% faster. And again, I don't think that this one will be taken like 3% or like 3 seconds. It essentially just gives you 3 seconds to cast other shit, right? So I don't know about that one. We'll see. We will see. Coming down to the endurance ones, I'm gonna try to go over these quickly. Because they're not as important, honestly. But while inside Ice Block, you go for 20% of your maximum health duration, and it increases maybe up to 100%. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that's good at all. Maybe situational, like maybe situationally you'll use these. I think that would be the only situation that you'll really be using endurance conduits. But I think the default will be 3 potency, and then if you can use a finesse conduit, grounding surge. I think that'll be the default. Grounding surge or Mythic Plus, and then I think for finesse and raid, you'll probably pick this. Maybe this invisibility, depending on the fight. But you can't change from fight to fight, so like you'll kind of, I don't know. If there's a specific fight needs one of these during the week that you're progressing on, you'll pick whatever works best for it. But back to endurance. I don't think healing during Ice Block is super important in content. Diverted energy. Your barriers heal you for 25% of the damage absorbed. From 20% of the damage absorbed the whole way up to 60. That's not super powerful. It's not super powerful. If it just increased your barriers, they would probably even be better. That would, almost definitively would be better. But Tempest Barrier. Gain a shield that absorbs 5% of your maximum health for 15 seconds after you blink. So what this is like the talent, like Blazing Barrier, right? Gain a shield, yeah. And the whole way up to 15. That could be useful in certain situations. Like if you're pushing Mythic Plus and need like extra shit to stay alive from one shots, like yeah, it could be useful. Flow of time, reduce the cooldown of blink by so many seconds. Could be useful. Down to like a 10-second cooldown would be really, honestly. But we'll see, we'll see. Invisibility increase your movement speed, it's just a movement speed increase. Mages don't really need that much, but it could be situational. Again, we will see if it's used anywhere, but that's what that is. And then this reduces the cooldown of Ice Block. I think this is really useless, honestly. An Ice Block at 3.5 minute cooldown. This is situational, again. Like, maybe on Zoth, if we had this right, and we had 3.5 minute Ice Block, we could get 2 immunities out and be more useful. But I don't know. I forget what your cooldown has to be for it to be used twice on Zoth. But that's a possibility. And then Grounding Surge. Yeah, Grounding Surge is good. Grounding Surge is real good. And once it gets up to this, like, oh wait, what am I saying? Once you get us over here to 8 seconds reduced, that's gonna be nice in Mythic Plus. I'm telling you what, that's gonna be nice. Well, I guess thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned some stuff from this. Thanks for commenting, subscribing, liking the videos. I appreciate all the feedback. Seriously, I go through and read all the comments. I hope you guys are looking forward to Shadowlands. It's looking to be a decent expansion, as far as I can tell. Stuff that I don't really go over in my videos, but makes me like Shadowlands, is just like the scenery and like the stuff that the art team does. It actually looks sick. It really does. And if you're on the fence about playing Shadowlands, I would suggest playing it, giving it a try for sure. It looks pretty good so far. If I'm critical on this stuff, it's because I care. And if I'm wrong on any of this stuff, please point me out. Stuff updates a lot, and I might be out of date on a thing or two if there's been updates since then. So please post anything in the stuff like that. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support. Take it easy, guys.